So, steady morning, very steady morning. And as I'm doing my check-ins, as I was doing a check-in with a client who's stepping on stage later this year, it got me thinking about whether you actually need a specialization day, a specialization phase. And I think you do. Now, this client isn't particularly advanced. In fact, it's their first time stepping on stage, but I still think you should be focusing on muscle groups you need to focus on. I think that's very important. And I am no better example than that because today we have a top line day to go on. So if you're an aspiring men's physique athlete, definitely keep an eye out for that workout later in the video. But my top line is what needs building. I need more chest thickness, I need more delts, and I need more upper back and traps. It is as simple as that. And for this client, they also need, they're a bikini client, they need more glutes, they need more delts. So we are doing a hell of a lot of glutes and a hell of a lot of delts, and in fact, we're even doing a glutes and delts day. This is very normal with programming. And it's also why you need a program designed for yourself. It's no good getting something generic off, especially now with AI and ChatGPT. ChatGPT can create a great workout program, don't get me wrong. But if you need something for you, something that will make your physique and presence felt on stage, it might not cut the mustard, and that's where you need to think more clearly about what your physique requires and how you can make that better moving forward. So I'm going to finish up with a few more check-ins. As usual, eat a nice high protein meal, finish my coffee, and then we're going to crack on. So before we go and train, I figured I would walk you through my pre and post workout supplementation protocol, shall we say. So before we go and train, I will walk you through my pre and post workout supplementation situation. Now, the first thing you'll need, and it's not what you think it's for, drug dealer scale. Very, very important. Well, not very important, but can definitely help you get some things right. So for my pre-workout, I just have like a small 250 to 300 milliliter thing. First thing we're going to go in with is salt. Everyone prefers pink salt. I actually don't really know why. There's some more micronutrition and minerals in there technically, but salt would do just fine. And this takes a little bit of experimentation, but I found that 2 grams in the pre-workout drink is about right for me. I know some people who do like 5 grams, 1 gram. So you do have to play around with it and kind of feel what gives you the best pump. That's kind of what the salt's in there for. A little bit for hydration, but also you'll feel like you get a better pump when you actually have some sodium in your system. And for me, it seems to be the sweet spot of about 2. The next, creatine. So we know 3 to 5 grams daily. You don't have to have it in your pre-workout, but you can. And I do just because then I'll remember to take it. That's simply the reason why I have it in my pre-workout, because I'm having pre-workout every day. If it's in there, I'm taking it. And then people will question, well, doesn't caffeine compete with the creatine for uptake? And there's a little bit of, they fight for their, and then people will say, well, doesn't caffeine and creatine have a little bit of a fight for uptake? And well, easy solve. I don't use a stimulant pre-workout. I drink enough coffee in the day anyway. So I just have a pump non-stim pre-workout. So that solves that problem easily. This one from Raw Nutrition is pretty good. Tastes great, has all the right ingredients at all the right doses in there. So bang that in. And that is my pre-workout nutrition solved. Get the cap on, shake it up, and that'll be drank on the treadmill while I'm just warming up. Now I don't need my drug dealer scale anymore because we're moving into intra-workout. I usually just have like a 1.5 litre bottle. Helps if you have a funnel. And the first thing I'm going in with is a hydration formula. This is Relight. I found this one like to be easily the best one. And an easy way to tell if your electrolytes are actually good is if they taste salty. And this one actually tastes a little bit salty when it's in there. So I just do a scoop of that for like ultimate hydration. And then definitely not a must by any means, but I always think of it as a bit of a insurance policy, let's say, and that's to go in with some EAAs. So I'll also throw a scoop of these. Now this is technically EAA and electrolytes, so I don't know like how insane I'm going with the electrolytes at this point, but considering the heat that I train in and how much I sweat, can't be a bad thing, right? Can't be overhydrated. You probably can. Some experts will say you probably can, but look, you'd have to try very hard, right? So, yep, that's all that done. Pre-workout sorted. And with that, let's go and train. So one important part about a weak points day, is not only probably to start your week with that day, because that's when, if you're coming off the back of a rest day, you're going to have the most power, the most energy, so you want to be putting that first. But just like starting this with a lateral raise variation, you probably want to start your workout with that as well. So of chest, delts, and upper back and traps, the thing I need the most out of all those is still delts. It's basically the dominant muscle of men's physique. So we put delts first. Not only is that giving appropriate energy and focus and attention to them, but also it kind of warms everything up for the presses I'll go into after this, and get some blood flow into the joint and gets them going. So delts done, let's move on. All right, so shoulders done. We move on to our dumbbell press. This is one of those ones where like it just feeds on, I have on my other week incline Smith press. So this just feeds onto that nicely. Like a little bit more balance needed, obviously, a little bit more technique needed, but if anything, slightly better feel through the upper chest because you get a bit of convergence on the dumbbells. So, yep, let's get to it. So that's done, press. That was great, nice PR, hit the 12 reps, so can increase that next week, fantastic. And as I could easily go into my chest fly next, but realistically, while I've still got energy and I still have some heavy lifts to do, let's keep the energy moving and we'll go straight into some upper back work. So I really like this seated cable row with a neutral grip. It's a little bit lat dominant, but to be honest, it's a classic kind of, a bit like T-bar row, just the everything back move, and it's fantastic. So a new weight here as well, up from last time out. Let's go get it. That is that 2 grams of salt doing its thing. Like, it feels, the chest pump off the flies is ridiculous. But always a good sign. If you're like doing flies and you can't get into that short position anymore just because of the pump, I feel like things are in the right position there. So really happy with that. I've just got some delts and triceps to go, but my camera's running out of battery. So unfortunately, that is not going to make it to the vlog, but get them done. Post-workout shake, train a client, and then it's back home for post-workout. Fantastic, really good workout, like super progressive. Because actually I hadn't done this week B rotation for 4 weeks, because last week I was sick. Today, on the day I would have done, well, 2 weeks ago, I was sick when I should have been doing this session. So really pleased, man. Fucking hell. Right, I'm gonna finish this workout off, then let's eat. And we're back for another morning. This time down at Kite Beach. We are once again getting some steps in, and it's been, off the back of the top line day, it has been a good few days in the mini cup. And I figured I would speak about, and here's why you should take your weak point training seriously. You need to be doing some sort of weak point training. That is just the long and short of it. It will really help you get on with, it's really going to help your physique progression in a big way. A lot more progress you'll have a lot more progress even as an intermediate. People think physique specialization is for the advanced, but even as an intermediate, I think it's time to add some level of specialization, a specificity to your training programs, because a bit like starting prep in an appropriate place, leaving your physique development until you're advanced, I suspect will leave you with a bit of a mountain to climb once you get to that level. Whereas, as your physique is developing and you're into your intermediate stage, starting to focus on weak points, starting to bring up weaknesses at that point will mean that when you become more advanced, you'll be in a better position to be more competitive, A, and B, leave yourself with less of that work to do, so you can just keep building quality tissue all over the body as you go into your advanced stages. Now, this is me talking as an intermediate myself. I'm no way near advanced yet, but this is just the feeling I get. So yeah, lovely day, lovely day, getting some steps in. Really good coffee, 95 degrees on Kite Beach. Highly recommend, actually properly good tasting coffee. Ah, beautiful. Back, and hopefully that was not only just a bit of a normal vlog like usual, but something with a bit of information and a little bit informative. That's what I'm hoping for. So, seeing as it's the beginning of the year, and I'm sure everyone's putting together their physique, the goals for what they want to achieve in their physique and bodybuilding journey this year, it's probably kind of useful to have an idea of where you should start with your training and your weak points so that you have direction. And I do think having a weak point day in your program is really important. And personally, I do believe putting that day in at the start of the week makes a big difference. But if that was useful, don't forget to subscribe. Come on, leave a comment, help a brother out, and yeah, I'll catch you later.